lesson, we moved into a very interactive writing work session where the students were able to select 2 writing tasks. One of the tasks all the students completed because our focus standard was the argumentative writing standard regarding claims and sound relevant evidence. The students began working in the work session, and then we transitioned into small groups. One instructional practice that is very important is that I give the students about 10 to 12 minutes to actually get started with writing. Based on students' needs and abilities, they need that time to actually process what is the task, what am I going to write about, what is my evidence to support me. After that is when I begin to pull small groups. All right, let's get started with our small group for our writer's work session. Can I get anyone that has that green dot on your pink handout? Anyone that has green, if you'll come back to the small group table with all of your documentation, something to write with, green. Everyone else keep writing. Please check on someone in your learning community. Make sure that they're on task. All right, before we get started, I want to set our purpose for being here and remind you what our writing task is, okay? Let's look up at the screen. The State Your Claim task says that we're going to write an argumentative, constructed response that presents your thoughts about female versus male leadership. It says you're going to use evidence that you've collected to support your argument. There are 3 things I want to make sure that you do. Claim statement, supporting evidence, and implications to the real world, okay? So that's like our examples that we've been including when we're having group discussions. What's a claim statement? Let's remind each other of that. Your opinions. Your ideas.
The standard says that we should give specific arguments to support our claim.
Perfect, very good. And those arguments are a collection of our evidence, okay? So let's talk about our evidence that we've gathered over the past 3 days. Alyssa, will you take us through our evidence and will you kind of follow along with Alyssa so you'll be reminded of what you have to support you?
Okay, first we have the data from this morning, and then we have our opening, and then we also have the leadership word challenge, which is the purple sheet, and then we have a yellow sheet, which is for those who watch the video on why women make better business leaders. On in the back we have an article about why men make better leaders.
So we have a nice collection of both sides. I know, Michael, you're in. You agree with both sides, right? Both male and female. And you ladies, is everyone female here? Female leadership? So you have a wealth of knowledge that you'll be able to use to incorporate into your writing. Before you get started, I've got an example for you, a state your claim example that you can refer back to as we sit here and begin writing. I'm gonna read this to you, and I want you, when we're done, to tell me what this writer did very well, okay? Because this is exactly what you're gonna do when I set you loose. Male leadership rocks. They are confident, decisive, and ambitious. A male leader knows when to speak up and take control. For example, think about a scientist who has been charged with leading a team. This male lead scientist would easily begin planning for the group and confidently see the plan through. He would also motivate the group to work hard to get the job done. Although female leaders can be caring and great organizers, a male leader is needed to get the job done. Male leadership makes the ultimate difference. Let's talk about what this writer did well. Think about the task and what I'm asking you to do.
He used a lot of details.
He uses details. Can you be specific and tell me how?
The author used, he would also motivate the group to work hard to get the job done.
Did you hear evidence of leadership traits? Where?
Yes.
Confident, decisive, and ambitious.
Okay. Do you feel like you could include those traits in your state of claim
Yes.
task? Very good. What else did the author do well?
He used real life.
Examples and real life. Very good. That's something that you have to do, right? You have to include real world implications. What's a real world implication that's included?
Scientist who has been charged with leading a team.
Absolutely, definitely. A scientist is definitely real world. What about the claim statement? Most important. Do we see the author's claim?
Yes.
First sentence, right? Male leadership rocks. Strong statement and great tone, okay? I want you to think about these things as you begin writing. Refer to the screen if you need to be reminded. You're gonna sit here, I'm gonna let you start, and I'll begin checking in with you, okay? If you have any questions, I want you to ask me. Let's use our evidence. The consistent use of anchor charts allows students to reflect on their learning. Anchor charts serve as evidence of learning at its best. For example, during the work session, I was able to reference the State Your Claim anchor chart. There was an exemplar writing there about male leadership. So when students arrived to the small group table, and I noticed that they began writing, but their claim statements weren't as strong. They didn't really have real-world implications in their writing. I was able to have them kind of reference what was there, reflect, have a discussion. What did this writer do well? How is my writing matriculating? Does it look similar to this? And then move forward. You've got some great evidence here, Michael, from your openings that you may want to consider to include, okay? Brooke, can I hear what you have so far for your state your claim task?
I feel that it should be a female leadership because I feel that females are more understanding. The percent of intelligence for women is 38%, but only 14% for men.
Okay, so you've included, where did that for your evidence come from? What resource?
The chart that we did this morning.
Okay, for our opening. Do you feel like you have a strong claim statement?
Yes.
Okay. Continue writing. I want you to think about if you want to revamp your claim statement any, and you can look up at the anchor chart and decide, make that decision, okay? All right, you've done an excellent job. Our small group session is wrapping up. I want you to go back to your seats and continue to work independently. When you're done with this writing task, what are you to do next? You're selecting 2 today for our writers are picky, okay? Excellent job. Check on someone when you get to your group. One additional plus to flexible grouping is it allows us as teachers and facilitators to easily address differentiation in the classroom. Pulling those students back, deciding how you're going to situate the students and why you're calling them back in certain groups allows you to remediate, enrich, and extend. It also allowed me to remind them of their collection of evidence that they've been gathering over the past couple of days and how to cite that effectively into their writing.